7 and this is Willow, and today we are going to be talking about a highly requested topic. Today's video is about the 5 most important things to teach your Corgi puppy in their first year. I think actually 4 of these, and probably the 5th, will also apply to other dog breeds. But because I only have a Corgi, we are kind of niching down into the 5 things your Corgi puppy should learn. But again, this can go for any dog breed. Now, I just want to say, if you are enjoying our videos, please subscribe. We are trying to get our way to 10,000 subscribers, so it would mean a lot to me if you hit that subscribe button and like this video if you're enjoying it. The first thing that you're going to want to teach your puppy in their first couple of weeks at home with you is a list of commands that are going to benefit your dog as they grow into an adult dog and really help them be well-adjusted and behaved. The first command might seem obvious, but it is to teach them their name so that they know that you're talking to them when you call their name. But along with them learning their name, they need to know that when you call their name, that it's actually a recall cue as well. One way you want to do this is basically just reward them with a treat when they come after you say their name. A little side tip, use your puppy's food as treats when you're training them early on. So you're also going to want to teach your puppy things like sit and down, but even more important than that are the commands stay, wait, and leave it. Your puppy is never too young to start learning these commands, and they're super important for their safety. Stay is pretty easy to work with a puppy. You just make them sit and stay and then reward them, try to walk away a little bit and then reward them, go back to them, give them their treat. Keep moving further and further back, reward them every time they stay put until you release them. And your release word can be okay or good girl, good boy. It could be come, so you could start working on that recall as well. But it is a pretty easy trick to teach your dog, and it's super important. Is taught in a very similar way. I use that command all the time when I'm taking pictures of Willow or I want her to wait before she eats her dinner. So using wait before they can eat their dinner is a good way to practice this every single day, twice a day. And I love introducing commands and tricks into mealtime because it's going to allow them to practice it every single day, and they get their food, which is a huge reward at the end of it. So what I do with Willow is I make her sit, I put the bowl down in front of her, and I say, wait, wait. And when they're puppies, this might involve you, holding your hands over it. And once they stop sniffing your hands and trying to move your hands, once they calm down, then you reward them with the food. So making them wait before eating dinner is a great way to teach them wait. Another command that I always practice with Willow around mealtime is go to your place or go to your bed. Some people just use the term as place. Your bed. So that means that they're going to go to their bed and stay there until you release them. And I make Willow go to her bed every night before dinner. So, again, we get to practice it every single day, and she's still really stubborn sometimes. She'll be like, wait, do I really need to go to, wait, are you serious? Do I need to go to my bed? Are you sure? And I'll just keep saying, go to your bed, and then she finally does. That is a really good command for your dog to know, especially when you have people coming over. If you're opening the door for a package, make your dog go to their bed and stay there until people have come inside, you've closed the door, all of that. It's for their safety, but also just for their behavior. Another great one to incorporate with dinner, which I learned in Willow's puppy training class, is actually watch me. And so this just makes them focus on you. If they're trying to bark at another dog or they're being bad, they're not focusing, whatever. Willow just brought a football over here. So how you're going to teach this is get a treat, hold it between your eyes, say watch me. When they look at the treat, you reward them, and you can slowly move away from using the treat and have them just watch you. I make Willow sit, wait, watch me, and then she can eat. Before we get to number 2, I just want to say that you guys always ask me why Willow is so well behaved during these videos. But right now she just wants to play. She wants me to throw all of her balls, and she's not being very cooperative. So here is an example of Willow not being a perfect Corgi. And just know, if your dogs are very high energy, that's normal for a Corgi. So Willow just wants to play. We'll play after the video, okay? Might not be behind me for the rest of this. Just know she's literally right there staring at me to throw her ball. Oh no, she's back. Okay, number 2 is guarding. Corgis are really predispositioned to having resource guarding issues. What resource guarding means is that these dogs are trying to protect the things that they love, i.e. toys, food, your lap, possibly your attention. And in these instinctual moments when they're trying to protect these items, they can get aggressive, show their teeth. It can even, escalate even further to biting or attacking a human or another dog. And Willow has struggled with these issues as well. So it's common for corgis, especially female corgis. And if you have a corgi who exhibits these behaviors, just know that you're not alone and we can get through them. So as number 2, we're going to be talking about how you can kind of prevent your corgi puppy from developing these types of issues or triggering that instinct that they have. So for example, it could seem as simple as just taking an object from your puppy at a very young age. If they're really enjoying food or a treat or a toy and you take it from them, it's going to trigger their instinct. They're not going to like that. They're going to learn how to prevent that from happening. So whether you teach them to leave it or drop it and then you take the toy and reward them for dropping the toy, or even if you want to take a toy that they're really engaged in, or like let's say you give them a bully stick or a treat that they're really loving, when you take that from them, you're going to want to switch them with another treat. So maybe a smaller treat, a little piece of food, trade them so that they're learning that when you take things from them, they're rewarded. So Willow actually, it's a long story, but I think I might have been the cause of her resource guarding because when she was a puppy, I lived with my mom and my mom's dogs were free fed. So their food was just on the ground at all times. And as hard as I tried to use gates and prevent Willow from getting into the food, a lot of the time she would get into the food and I would grab her and take her away from that. That could have possibly built that association with when I am enjoying my food and it gets taken away. I do not like that. So Willow started to develop resource guarding issues, and if anybody walked near her while she was eating her dinner, she became a totally different dog, and it's really upsetting to see your dog that way. She's showing her full teeth. She sounds so scary. She'll go after you. And so the way that you kind of want to transition your dog out of that, you kind of reset their mind. You want them to learn that somebody putting their hands near their bowl is a positive thing. So what you're going to do is take chicken, cheese, something really high value that they love. You're going to start by just walking by and dropping it by their bowl when you're standing near there. And your dog, at least Willow, quickly learned that when people are near her while she's eating, she gets rewarded. So then I was slowly able to literally put my hand in her bowl with a piece of chicken or turkey or something, and she would take it and she would learn that me putting my hands in her bowl is a good thing. And it was like a 180. She flipped a switch and those issues were completely gone. But it's also something that you kind of have to work on. You can't expect them to never do that again. And Willow also has issues with dog-on-dog resource guarding, which is a lot harder to train out of her. And I haven't been able to do that yet because you kind of have to subject that dog to being bullied by your dog, and it's a really tough thing. I've hired a trainer and she didn't really work out. I'm looking for another trainer. So I think the best way is just kind of try to prevent it at a young age and don't take things away from them without rewarding them for it, basically. It's as easy as that. All right, number 3 is something that I learned from my vet when I took Willow in for her first vaccinations, is they told me that you need to play with your puppy's feet and put your hands in their mouths, basically. So our vet actually told me to brush Willow's teeth every day, which obviously I didn't do it every day, but as much as you can, just because they get used to having stuff in their mouth, because most dogs don't like that. And if they don't get used to it and desensitized to it, then they're going to not open their mouths for anyone. They're going to get really aggressive and they're not going to like that. Brushing their teeth with a good flavored toothpaste, putting your hands in their mouth and giving them treats, rubbing their feet, doing their nails is a good way to get them used to liking their feet touched. I've talked about desensitization to doing their nails in a previous video. I'll link below. These things are going to make it a lot easier for your vets to examine them for any issues or diseases, especially looking in their mouths. I guess the mouth is the biggest clue to things that are going on with your dog. And so if your vet can't examine their mouth, it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to diagnose any issues. Okay, so number 4 is socialization. So your puppy needs to be socialized in order for them to become confident and strong and used to being around other humans and dogs. And yes, it's hard when they're puppies before they're fully vaccinated. Obviously, you have to be very careful with the way that you're socializing your puppy, but letting them explore your house or a friend's house, letting them be independent, introducing them to friends' dogs that are vaccinated, things like that can really help build their confidence and strengthen their socialization skills. Socialization is also really important because if your dog isn't used to being around other animals or people, when you do take them out in public, they're going to be really reactive. They're going to bark at them. They're going to pull on the leash. They're going to be really obnoxious and crazy. And the best way to prevent that is actually just to expose them to it and show them that it's normal and that they don't need to overreact when you're in really highly stimulated situations. So one way you can do this is to bring a blanket that is completely clean and from your house, lay it down on the floor outside of a dog park and just sit there with your dog and watch the dogs play. And when your dog is calmed down and just laying down and behaving, give them a treat every once in a while. And this is a really great way to desensitize your dog to other dogs and really highly stimulated situations. And we have already made it to number 5. 5, not 10, 5. Number 5 is super important. I mean, all of these were important, but number 5 is really important because most dogs struggle with separation anxiety. So what you really want to teach your puppy is how to be happy while being alone. The way you're going to do this is start by creating a space for them, whether it's a penned off area or a crate, and make this a space that they love to go to. Don't ever force them into the space. Give them treats and their favorite toys and their favorite blankets, and even feed them in this area. So you're building their relationship to this space that is a positive one. And you'll slowly notice your dog going off to be alone in this space by themselves and not always requiring your constant attention. They won't be whining at you to pet them or pick them up or whatever they're wanting. They'll learn that this space is a positive space and they enjoy going there to be alone. This is making your dog more independent and making it a lot easier for you to leave the house without them. I definitely struggle with separation anxiety with Willow and also guilt. I feel guilty for leaving her alone. And of course, with a new puppy, you don't want to leave them alone for very long. You should be able to go out with friends or go see a movie or go to dinner without feeling terribly guilty about leaving your dog and giving them a bunch of anxiety whenever you leave. And then also with Willow, now that she's older, I leave a bunch of treats and puzzles around the house whenever I leave, so I can sneak out and she's busy using her nose, getting treats, being active, and then by the time she realizes I'm gone, she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go lay down on the couch. That might be a little more difficult with a puppy, but just leave them with a favorite toy that they're really engaged in or some kind of chewy toy. Don't leave them with something that they could choke on potentially. They should totally get used to enjoying when you leave them alone and leave the house. Just pulled this out of Willow's mouth. So sometimes you don't want to leave them alone with crap. So make sure they're safe things. It's really gross. Dog mom stuff. But yeah, that is that. I'm really excited about this video. When I was asked to create it, I was like, okay, what are the 5 things? Like, what do you even teach your puppy in their first few weeks? And then I started doing research and putting my list together, and I was like, oh my God, these are so important. Some of them I didn't even do with Willow as a puppy. And so I think this video is super helpful, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too long. We'll see when I edit it down. I tend to ramble a lot. Thank you so much for watching. I have a long list of videos that you guys have requested, and I'm going to be trying to put them out every single week on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. But anyways, thank you again so much for watching. If you want even more Corgi content, you can follow us on Instagram or TikTok at Willow the Corgi. Instagram, I share a lot of tips and dog parenting products that I love. So if you're not following us over there, that is going to be where you're going to get a lot more informational content, especially as I try to get more into uploading on YouTube more consistently. All right, and Willow says bye-bye. Sorry I wasn't very present for the video. She's just too busy. Too busy on this Monday doing stuff. Huh? Are you working? Working for balls. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I think that went well. Do you think that went well? Do you think that was a good video, Willow? What do you think? No? You don't like giving away your secrets? All the balls Willow brought up onto the bed while I was filming. And a sneak peek of Charlie, who's always here. Thank you for watching!